water, earth, fire, air. Hello everyone, welcome to Top 10 Character Moments. Today we're breaking down my list for the top 10 best Katara moments. Be sure to tune in every Friday to watch my latest top 10 video. In each video, I will break down my list for a specific character's best moments and why I like them so much. Just remember, this is my personal list, so you don't have to agree with it, but I ask you respect my opinions as I will respect yours. Now, for those who don't know, I'm Ryan Brower. I run another YouTube channel called Sector for Nerds, so I ask not only you subscribe to this channel, but also Sector for Nerds, as it would really mean a lot to me. Thanks, guys. I've become a big fan of the Avatar: The Last Airbender series, and apart from Aang and Iroh, my other favorite character in that show is Katara. She goes through a lot in this show, and I enjoyed watching her overcome all those adversities. Now, with that in mind, let's get into some honorable mentions before cracking the top 10 itself. First up, finding Aang in the ice. I mean, if that hadn't happened, who knows what might have happened to the world. Next up, getting Earthbender prisoners to rebel. This scene shows the inspiration Katara brings to people. The Fire Nation made them so afraid, and Katara made them realize they didn't have to be. And finally, Girls' Day Out with Toph. The event happened in one of the shorts in the episode titled Tales of Ba Sing Se. This was a nice bonding moment for the two of them, considering the amount of times they've been at each other's throats throughout the series. Okay, let's get into the top 10 list itself. You guys ready? Here we go. At number 10, her battle with Zuko in the Siege of the North. I like this scene because it demonstrates how powerful Katara has become so far in the show. At number 9, bloodbending for the first time. As cool as it was also a very scary and very dark moment. It was like seeing Katara tap into the dark side, and unfortunately, it's not the last time we see her tap into that darkness, but we'll get more into that later. At number 8, forgiving Zuko. Now, just to be clear, Katara had every right not to trust Zuko, considering the fact that she was going to heal his face and he ended up betraying her and Aang. They could have ended Azula right there and then. This scene frustrates me every time I watch it, but let's get back on track. Everyone was hesitant of Zuko joining Team Avatar, but eventually he won over everyone's trust, including Katara. But it took a while to get there. After the two went on a mission together, she learned how to move on from several things, one of which was her grudge with Zuko. Sometimes it takes a lot to forgive someone, but to Katara's credit, she did it. At number 7, surviving the Cave of Two Lovers. That episode was a Katang-heavy episode, and I loved it. Interestingly enough, it was Katara who first brought up the idea of her and Aang kissing, and she was getting all nervous about it, even blushing a little bit. And then Aang pretty much ruined the moment, so thanks, Avatar. I said this in my video about Aang, but I think it's worth repeating. There's the whole thing of did they kiss, did they not? At the end of the day, the way they looked at each other and them leaning in closer to one another heavily implies that even if they didn't kiss, they knew they both had similar feelings for one another. At number 6, helping Aang get out of the Avatar state. After losing Appa and being stranded in the desert, Aang goes into the Avatar state and almost loses control of himself. Luckily for him, Katara was there to pull him out of it. Everyone else ran away from the danger, but Katara went towards him. I think deep down she knew she would be the only one that could do it. At number 5, sparing the life of the person that killed her mother. This is the mission that Katara went on with Zuko, where in the end she forgave him. Zuko was all in on this, by the way, to help Katara get revenge. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought she was gonna kill the guy. I would have understood it if she did, but at the same time, killing him wasn't gonna change what happened. If anything, it would have sent Katara down the dark path, but to her credit, she did what she needed to do. At number 4, kissing Aang in the final episode of the series. I shipped these two since the first episode and didn't know a single thing about the show. I wanted them to be a thing the entire series, and at the very end, we got it. I think Katara wanted to be with Aang for a while, but her mind was so focused on the war that she didn't have time to think about him the way she wanted to. Even when Aang was trying to express his feelings toward her, she still kind of pushed him away, not understanding her own feelings. But once the dust settled and the fighting was over, Katara knew exactly what she wanted, or even more specifically, who she wanted. At number 3, becoming the Painted Lady. This was a very noble thing for Katara to do. She saw a town that was afraid and couldn't stand by and watch, so she decided to help them. She drove the Fire Nation away, give Aang the assist, and with a little help from Toph, got the people to clean their river.
Maybe we can clean the river.
Yeah! We can clean the river!
At number 2, standing up to Pakku. Pakku was a waterbending master who refused to train Katara because she's a girl. I love this scene because Katara wasn't gonna stand by and take no for an answer, so she faced Pakku in one-on-one combat, and while she didn't win, she proved she was a very skillful waterbender. There's a moment in the fight where Katara almost hits Pakku with a piece of ice, and you can see the reflection of Pakku's face, and it was priceless. In his mind, he was probably like, whoa, that was too close. And for my number 1 pick, defeating Azula in the final episode of Book 3. Need I remind everyone, she beat Azula while on the day of Sozin's Comet, which is when firebenders are the most powerful. The original fight was an Agni Kai between Zuko and Azula, but when Azula targeted Katara with her lightning, Zuko took the bullet for her. Now, Azula was definitely more powerful than Katara, going back to the whole Sozin's Comet thing, but Katara was able to outsmart her, luring Azula towards a sewer vent and sent all the water up and froze it. Azula was fingertips away from zapping her with lightning, but didn't get the chance. Also, you know Katara was thinking several steps ahead since she had a chain in her hands to cuff Azula to the ground. This was Katara at her best, in my opinion, hence why I think it's her best moment. So there you have it, guys. That's my list for the top 10 Katara moments. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite Katara moments are and why. Also, stay tuned every Friday for a new episode of Top 10 Character Moments. Next week, I'll be breaking down my picks for the top 10 best moments of Iron Man himself, Tony Stark. Thank you all for watching, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.